At the beginning of the movie, we saw a classroom, and all the kids were telling about their father's profession. One girl said that my father is a street vendor. Another boy said that my father is a truck driver. Then the third boy stood up, and his name was Max. He said that my mom is a teacher. But his teacher said that I've asked you about your father. Then Max said that my father is a liar. The teacher had no idea about what he was talking about. Max said that my father works at the court, and he talks to the judge at the court. And finally, the teacher understood that his father was a lawyer and not a liar. The teacher said, "It's not liar, it's lawyer." In the next scene, we saw that Max's dad was coming out of the court after winning another case. His name was Fletcher. Outside the court, Fletcher met one of his clients. His client tried to give him his suit back, but Fletcher said, "Keep it to yourself. You'll be needing it in the future." And we found out that Fletcher put his suit on a criminal and made him look innocent, and that's how he won the case. Actually, Fletcher was such a clever lawyer. He wins all of these cases by telling lies. A news reporter came there, and she told Fletcher that she wants to talk to him. Fletcher said, "Not now. I need to go and meet my son Max." Then the reporter said that, "I want to talk to you about the case that you just won." After hearing this, Fletcher went with the reporter. On the other side, Max was waiting for his dad. But suddenly, Fletcher came back, and Max ran towards him and hugged him. Fletcher tickled him to make him laugh. He made a paw with his hand. Max loves this paw. Max's mom was also very happy after seeing this. Max said to his dad to tickle his mom as well. But Fletcher said, "Not now. I'll tickle your mom at night." Fletcher's wife, Audrey, asked him why he was so late. Fletcher said, "I ran out of gas in the middle of the road. The gas station was too crowded, and that's why I'm late." Audrey said, "This is your excuse for every time." Max said, "Dad is taking me to the wrestling show." Audrey said, "Don't take Max to the wrestling show. He's too young for wrestling." Fletcher said, "He'll become strong by watching wrestling." Suddenly, a guy named Jerry came there, and Max hugged him. And we saw that the guy kissed Audrey in front of Fletcher. Fletcher was watching it, and he said nothing. We viewers got confused about what happened when Fletcher goes to the court. Do they get intimate? But no, this is not the case here. Actually, Fletcher and Audrey were already divorced. Fletcher only comes here to meet his son, Max, and Jerry is the boyfriend of Audrey. Fletcher and Audrey got divorced because Fletcher never came home in time. He was always busy with his cases. Still, now he cannot spend time with his son Max. And with this chance, Jerry became Audrey's boyfriend. In the next scene, Audrey went inside with Jerry, and Fletcher went to the wrestling show with Max. On their way, Max asked his dad if they were going to a wrestling show or not. Fletcher said yes, but I have some work to finish at my office, and we'll go to the show after I finish my work. A beggar asked Fletcher to give him some money, but Fletcher said, "Sorry, I don't have anything with me." Inside the court, we saw that a girl named Miranda was telling a lawyer to win a case. The lawyer said that the judge is the one who is responsible for winning or losing a case, but I can't lie to the judge. Miranda said, "Then we must look for another lawyer who can tell lies." We knew that she was talking about Fletcher. In the next scene, Fletcher went to his office, and he met a lady with strange hair. The lady asked him about the look of her hair. Fletcher said, "You're looking amazing. I'll do my hair exactly like yours." And we know that Fletcher was lying to her. Then he met a fat lawyer, and he told him, "You've lost quite a bit of weight." And just like that, Fletcher always gives fake compliments to everyone. After that, Fletcher's assistant told him that Miranda had called him. Actually, Miranda was Fletcher's boss. She always tells him about the promotion to have sex with him. Fletcher was annoyed by it. He told his assistant, "For how long do I have to do this to get promoted?" His assistant told him to ask Miranda about it, because she was standing behind him. When Fletcher saw her, he said, "Oh my God, Miranda, I was just thinking about you." Miranda said, "I heard about your win today. You handled the case very well. Now you're very close to your promotion." Fletcher became happy after hearing this. Miranda said, "Don't be so happy. Come to my house at night, and I'll make you happier. And only then you could get your promotion." Fletcher said okay, and left. In the next scene, Fletcher went to his cabin, and Max was sitting there. He was looking at his father with an angry look, and said that, "I know we're not going to the wrestling show." Fletcher was thinking that, here my son wants to go to the wrestling show, and Miranda wants to wrestle with me. But he became very upset by seeing the upset face of Max. On the other side, we saw that Jerry and Audrey came on a date. Jerry proposed to her to marry him, but Audrey said, "You're going to Boston, right?" Jerry said, "Yes, you and Max should go with me as well. We will always stay together." But Audrey was not prepared for this, so she blushed at him. Fletcher was busy with his job, and Max was still waiting. Tomorrow was Max's birthday, and it was 12 at night. And Fletcher said, "Happy birthday, Max, my son." He gave him a gift as well. His assistant brought it for Max. Max became so happy after receiving the gift. Max said, "Dad, let's play." But Fletcher said, "Not now. I have some work to finish. We'll surely play after your birthday party." And once again, we saw that Max was upset. The next morning, Jerry and Audrey came to pick up Max. When they were leaving, Fletcher told Jerry, "Fuck his ex-wife harder." After hearing this, Audrey looked at him with an angry look. In the next scene, Miranda introduced Fletcher to a client named Samantha. Samantha was a gold digger. She wants divorce from her husband and wants half of his property as well. And she came to Fletcher with this case. Fletcher was such a liar, so he told Samantha, "Of course, you'll get half of the property. Along with this demand, if your child is with you, you could get more than half the property." Samantha was so happy with Fletcher because she was so greedy. She tried to seduce Fletcher, and she pressed his ass before she left. Miranda was so happy with Fletcher that he got this client so easily. She told him that, "You're so clever and dangerous. If you win this case, then you'll get promoted for sure. But before that, we need to have fun once again." After saying this, she kissed him badly, and Fletcher also kissed her, even though he didn't want to. On the other side, they were celebrating Max's birthday. All the kids were so happy, except for Max. He was waiting for his father. Jerry asked Audrey if she'll go to Boston with him, but Audrey said no. She said, "Max loves his dad so much, and I don't want him to be apart from him. And this won't be right for Fletcher as well, because he has the right to meet his son whenever he wants." Suddenly, Fletcher called Audrey, and we saw that Miranda and Fletcher were having sex. Fletcher told Audrey, "I can't come over tonight. I have a very important job." Audrey said, "We're celebrating Max's birthday. You must come over." But Fletcher said no, and hung up the phone. After that, Fletcher and Miranda had sex. In the next scene, Max was so upset. His mom told him, "Your dad has some important jobs to finish, and that's why he couldn't come over. But tomorrow, he'll come to meet you for sure." Max thought that his dad was still lying. Maybe he won't come tomorrow as well. Audrey told Max to make a wish to God. Max wished for something with a very upset face. He wished for his dad not to lie anymore. After saying it, he blew off the candles. The next morning, we saw Fletcher and Miranda were naked on the bed. Fletcher told Miranda that, "Now I don't find you as attractive as I did before." After hearing this, Miranda kicked him out of the room. Fletcher had no idea why he said that. He went to his office and he met a girl in the elevator. Her boobs were showing up. Fletcher asked the girl if she was new. The girl said, "Yes, I'm new." She also said that everyone is so nice here. They behave very well with me. Fletcher told her, "You got such nice boobs and that's why everyone is behaving so well with you." After hearing this, the girl punched Fletcher in his face, and we realized that all of this was happening because of Max's wish. But Fletcher had no idea about it. Fletcher was walking on the street, and the beggar asked him to give him some money. Fletcher shouted at him. Finally, Fletcher went to the court, and Samantha was also there. Fletcher had to fight her case today. Samantha was staring at him with a very bad look. Suddenly, Samantha's husband came with his lawyer. Samantha's husband asked her, "How much money do you want? Tell me." Fletcher said, 50%. Then his lawyer said, "How can you ask for 50%? We have a video clip of Samantha having sex with another guy. She said you don't even have a case to fight." Fletcher said, "No, I have proof." But when he tried to lie, he was only able to tell the truth. He tried so hard to lie, but he couldn't. The female lawyer said, "Don't come up with me. I'll end your whole career." Fletcher shouted at her, and the judge entered the court. After seeing the judge, Fletcher said, "The guy who Samantha slept with has entered the court." When the judge entered the court, Fletcher said, "Your Honor, I need another date for this case." The judge said, "This case has been delayed for so long, I don't want to delay it any longer." The judge asked him, why does he need another date for this case? Fletcher tried his best to lie, but he told the truth. He said that, "Your Honor, I can't lie today, and that's why I need another date." The judge said this is a good thing. The judge asked Samantha's husband's lawyer if they could settle the case or not. The lawyer said that we're ready to give her $2.6 million. Fletcher said yes, we were also ready to take the $2.6 million. But Samantha stopped him and said, I want half of his property, not the money. The judge asked Fletcher if he was ready to settle or not. Fletcher said no. That's why the judge took a break. Fletcher immediately ran away from the court and went to his office. He farted inside the elevator and said, I have farted. Do whatever you want. In the next scene, Fletcher met the girl with curly hair. When he saw her, he said something terrible to her. And then he met the fat guy, and he said he was such a fatty. And just like that, he broke everyone's heart. Then his assistant came to him, and he said, don't come closer to me. I'll end you with words. He immediately went inside his office and decided to test himself. He took a blue color pen in his hand, and he tried to call it red. But he couldn't say red. After that, he wrote on a paper to test if he could lie by writing. But even after trying so hard, he couldn't write red. He became so mad, and he began to break everything in front of him. His assistant came inside and said his ex-wife had called him. She asked you to pick up Max from school. Fletcher remembered that he had promised Audrey, so he immediately called her. He told her that I can't pick up Max from school today. Audrey said, I knew it, you were lying at night. What were you doing? Fletcher said, I've had sex with Miranda at night, and he immediately broke the phone. Max told his mom, maybe Dad won't come today to pick me up. His mom said, it's okay, I'll come to pick you up. Max said, I think my wish was not granted. His mom asked, which wish are you talking about? Max said, I wished for Dad not to tell lies anymore. Maybe it wasn't granted. Max didn't know that he was so innocent, and his wish has been granted. In the next scene, Fletcher fixed the phone and called Audrey. Fletcher told her, something strange is happening to me. Audrey said, I don't care what happens to you. I'm going to Boston with Jerry and my son Max. Fletcher said, I love my son very much, and I'll never let it happen. He asked her to wait for him, and he'll get to her in a minute. When he entered the elevator, he met Miranda. Fletcher ran away from her, and Miranda said, run as much as you want. I'll get you at night. Fletcher was driving his car in high speed, and he got pulled over for speeding. Fletcher told the truth and said to the police officer that I've never given any fees for getting pulled over. He took a taxi and went to Audrey's house. Audrey asked him, why did you come in a taxi? Fletcher said that I've been pulled over. Audrey paid the fees for the car, and it was $1,650. Fletcher had never paid any fees for getting pulled over, so the amount was very high. Fletcher told the officer, you guys always pull over cars. How do you sleep at night? Fletcher told Audrey to give him another chance. He's changed. Please don't take my son away from me. Audrey was a kind-hearted person, so she said, if you don't come to see Max tonight, then I will surely go to Boston with Jerry and Max. Do you have any idea about how much your son loves you? He wished for his birthday that you wouldn't tell any lies. After saying this, Audrey left. Fletcher realized that all of this was happening because of Max's wish. He also realized that he's such a bad dad. He immediately went to Max's school to pick him up. He picked him up in the middle of his class. Fletcher told him that your wish has been granted. Max asked him, are we going to the wrestling show? Fletcher said, yes, of course. But first, you need to take back your wish. Max said, so that you could lie again? Fletcher said, yes, but I won't lie to you, I promise. But I need to lie about my work. I'm a lawyer. Fletcher brought a cake and asked Max to take his wish back. Max was so sweet, and he took his wish back. Fletcher tested if the wish was taken back or not. He went to a girl to give her fake compliments, but still he was telling the truth, and the girl slapped him in his face. Fletcher realized that the wish hasn't been taken back. Fletcher asked Max if he had taken it back or not. Max said, at first I wished from my heart, but I can't take it back from my heart. Fletcher asked him why. Max said, I don't want you to lie anymore. Anyway, this wish is just for one day, and I'll go to Boston with Mom. After saying this, Max went back to his class. After hearing this, Fletcher felt so sad that he has done very wrong with his son. In the next scene, we saw Fletcher in his office, and his assistant came there. He told her that his son hates him. His assistant said, no, it's not like that. You just need to give him some time. Fletcher told her everything in detail. My son's wish got granted, and now I can't lie for a day. His assistant said, you brought a gift for me, and you said that it cost you $6,000. Tell me how much it actually was. Fletcher said, I bought it from the thrift shop for $2. After hearing this, his assistant left with all of her stuff. Miranda heard all of it from outside. She realized that this is the right time to get him out of her way. Because Fletcher was such a good lawyer, he won all the cases. Miranda was so scared that her boss might give her position to Fletcher. She called Fletcher and took him to her boss's room. Their boss was in a meeting, and Miranda wanted him to say something inappropriate in front of the meeting. He went inside the meeting and told her boss that Fletcher wants to talk to you. Fletcher said, "What do I need to say? This guy always farts in front of everyone, and he always brags as if he's the alpha." After hearing this, the whole room became quiet, and his boss also became serious. But after some time, his boss started to laugh loudly. He said, "You've roasted me with such humor. We got bored by working all day, but today we got a chance to laugh for a moment." His boss asked him to tell something about Simon. Fletcher said, "You should kick him out of the job. He's just wasting a seat in this office." After hearing this, the whole office started to laugh. Miranda's plan failed, and Fletcher began to laugh at her. In the next scene, Fletcher went to the court, and the judge was also there. The judge ordered them to start the prosecution. The other lawyer said, "Your Honor, Samantha has had sex with another man." The judge asked her to show proof of this accusation. The lawyer gave him an audio tape. When they played the tape, Samantha was having sex with the guy on the tape. Everyone heard Samantha's moaning. Fletcher said, "Your Honor, how can we be so sure that the guy in the tape is not Samantha's husband?" Then we heard from the tape that Samantha said to the guy, "You fuck me so much better than my husband." Fletcher had no idea what he should do now. He can't lie, and he must win the case. He drank a lot of water, and he asked the judge for permission to go to the bathroom. The judge let him go to the toilet to pee. Fletcher peed for a long time, and he started to hit himself so that he could get injured, and the judge would give him another date for this case. In the next scene, a security guard took Fletcher inside the courtroom, and he told the judge that someone had beat Fletcher badly, and he was on the ground. The judge realized that now he must give another date for the case. But still, he asked Fletcher if he could keep the case going, or else he will give another date for the case. Fletcher told the truth and said, "Yes, I can." The judge said, "We need more lawyers like Fletcher. Someone had beat the shit out of him, but still he's ready to fight the case." The judge said, after a break of 10 minutes, we'll start the prosecution once again. Fletcher was sitting outside the court, and he received a call from Max. Fletcher asked him if he went to Boston or not. Max said no. Fletcher said, "I'll go to meet you after some time," and the call gets disconnected. Samantha called him from the back and introduced him to the guy with whom she had sex with. Fletcher was worried about winning today's case. In the next scene, the judge ordered to start the prosecution. Fletcher said, "I want to introduce a witness." Everyone thought that now Fletcher will surely win the case. But Fletcher was after the guy who Samantha had sex with. When he came to the court, Fletcher said that, "Your Honor, this is the guy who had sex with Samantha. We need to punish him for having sex with someone else's wife." After hearing this, the guy became very mad and said, "Yes, I've had sex with Samantha, but I didn't rape her. Samantha came to me to have sex with her." After hearing this, all of them started to discuss with each other. The judge asked them to stay silent, but they didn't listen. The judge once again ordered them to stay quiet, but still, they didn't listen to him. Then Fletcher shouted and told them to be quiet. Everyone became quiet, and the judge asked him if he has any more proof or not. Fletcher said no. Samantha said, "Introduce me as your witness." Fletcher said, "You don't know that I can't lie today." Samantha told him to stop telling rubbish. "I just want my money. I don't want to stay as a poor widow at the age of 31. Fletcher remembered something after hearing the word 31. He said, "Your Honor, I want to introduce Samantha as my witness." Then he said, "Your Honor, my client Samantha got married at the age of 17, and this is illegal according to the law of the United States. And my client has the right to get half of the property." The judge said that Samantha will get half of her husband's property. And then we saw that Samantha became so happy, and she started to kiss Fletcher inside the court. Then the judge said, "Who will have his kids then?" Fletcher said, "My client doesn't want the kids." But immediately, Samantha said, "No, I will keep the kids," so that she could get the expenses of her kids every month. Fletcher said, "You just got property worth $11 million, but still you want more?" Samantha was such a big gold digger. She didn't listen to him, and the judge ordered to give the kids to Samantha. After seeing this, Fletcher got so mad at her. When Samantha was taking the kids with her, her husband started to cry. He said, "At least give me my kids back." After hearing this, Fletcher realized what it takes to be a good father. and he was not treating his son well enough. Fletcher also started to cry after seeing Samantha's husband. He said to the judge, "Your Honor, this is not right. I've manipulated the system and made a fool out of you." But the judge didn't listen to him. He realized that he's won so many cases with lies, so he started a fight with the judge. The police arrested him, but he said, "I need to go and meet my son, Max. Please let me go." But the police took him to the police station. Fletcher called Audrey, and she said, "You didn't come today. We're leaving for Boston." Fletcher said, "I've changed. I'll spend time with my son. Please don't leave me." Since Fletcher always lied to her, Audrey didn't believe him and hung up the call. After that, she left with Max. In the next scene, we saw that someone had bailed him out of jail. Fletcher asked who did this. Then he found out that his assistant did it. He felt so ashamed, and he hugged his assistant and thanked her. After that, Fletcher went towards Audrey's house, and he met the beggar on the road. And this time, Fletcher gave him so much money. On the other side, Jerry, Max, and Audrey went to the airport, but it seemed like Audrey still didn't want to leave Fletcher. Fletcher went to the airport, and he found out that the plane had already taken off. Fletcher took a ladder and went to the plane. When he looked through the window, then Max said, "Dad, what are you doing here?" Audrey was mad and said that maybe he came here to say goodbye. So Max also waved his hand to say goodbye. Fletcher went to the cockpit and threw his shoe at the window. He told the pilot to stop the plane. The pilot stopped the plane, but Fletcher's ladder got hit by something, and he fell down and broke his leg. In the next scene, we saw Fletcher on a stretcher. Max and Audrey were also there. Fletcher told Max, "You've changed my whole life. Now I don't want to lie anymore. I want your wish to be with me for the rest of my life. I'll never make you upset." After hearing this, Max became so happy, and Audrey refused to go to Boston. 1 year later, we saw the last scene of this movie. Fletcher and Audrey were celebrating Max's birthday. Max wished for something, and we saw that Audrey started to kiss Fletcher. Fletcher asked Max, "What did you wish for? Did you wish for us to get married again?" Max said, "No, I wished for something else." And we realized that Audrey actually wanted to stay with Fletcher. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, I will say, stay safe, stay well, thanks.